Alright, hello guys, this is video 12 of my 31-day video challenge. If you want to follow that, you can go to my YouTube channel, Kelton Out Loud. And today I'm going to defend something that people consider a vice. And I'll try to explain as best I can. That trait is selfishness. And so one way you can look at the world is that everything everyone does is selfish. And because we have our own reasons for doing them. Even if you claim to act selflessly, you have your own reasons for doing that, and we could. There's a whole argument you could go into where you walk through each thing and individual situations, and I won't go into that right now, but yeah, that's the assumption we're going on, and so with that in mind, I think that the best way to act is to be as intelligently selfish as you possibly can. And so if you want to get more of what you want, then you treat others in a way that they want to give you more of what you want, and you're able to live a happier life. Now, I think when people think of selfish people, I think, to me, that's being stupidly selfish, because most of the time when someone is stupidly selfish, as in they try to take what they want in the immediate moment, then it doesn't help them out in the future usually. Usually they lose social capital, they lose friends and people who want to help them out. And so yeah, being intelligently selfish is really another way you can think about that. I think is taking care of your future self, maybe, and maybe that's a better way to think about it. But yeah, a lot of people in the short term, they harm their future selves. So yeah, okay, so another point on that I want to say before I end this video is that when we do pursue our self-interest, we help other people more than we think, and that's because there's always costs to pursuing our self-interest, and there's always things that we have to give other people to get what we want. And so that's kind of the invisible hand argument put forth by Adam Smith, that when people pursue their self-interest, they that's how the market works. I mean, you look around you and that's how the entire world works. You go and you buy something at the store. The only reason you're able to buy something at the store is because the owner of the store was selfish enough to want money, and he found a way that he enjoyed to make money, enjoyed enough to do it, and not enough to do it for free, obviously, because you're paying him, and you're selfish enough to want the thing, and selfish enough to pay him. I mean, and the person at the counter or at the checkout is selfish enough to want money as well, and so they're serving you. And honestly, I actually think that that's the only way that that societies can function, is when people are pursuing their own self-interest. Because if you try to require people to be altruistic, it just doesn't work. That's that's a little bit what communist Russia attempted to do, is try to say, oh well, people deserve better, and so the the higher class is too selfish, and we need to tear them down. And then they destroyed all these people pursuing their self-interest and pursuing it effectively and being intelligently selfish to where they were getting a lot of gains. They eliminated those people, and then they starved, and their society crumbled over a long period of time. And so, yeah, I think that's something to consider, that when you pursue your self-interest intelligently, then you do the most possible good for the most amount of people. And I mean, that's why I've heard different arguments, like for-profit versus non-profit, and I really like the argument that a for-profit company does more good for the world than a non-profit company ever could, because what profit means is it means that people value something enough that they're willing to pay for it. And a really interesting point that I heard about nonprofit companies is, so they run on donations, which means that their customer is not the people that they're giving a service to. Their customer is the people donating the money, which means they, in order to have a good nonprofit, they have to create a good experience for the people donating the money. And that's what you see with, like, the different nonprofits where you can support a child in Africa or something like that. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I still think that a for-profit company is just generally more efficient, and that goes back to who the customer is. Because when your customer is the person you're serving, then you do the best service you can to get the most amount of money from that customer. And it's not just one customer. That's the other thing. That's the other reason short-term selfishness doesn't work, is because there's never one customer. It's always a long-term game. There's repeated transactions, and so you have to build reputation. And so, yeah, I think selfishness is important. I don't think it's I think stupid selfishness is a vice. But I think smart selfishness is something we could all try to pursue and cultivate. And that's what I've got for today. And like, share, comment, subscribe. And I will see you tomorrow. Thanks.